Estimating an irrational number is not as difficult as it initially seems. I like to start with a number line. As mathematicians, when we solve problems, we start with information that we know. So I'm going to think about perfect squares as we're trying to estimate a square root. We know the answer to these. I like to create an extra line underneath my number line just to give myself a visual for what's going on here. Clearly, if I'm comparing the square root of 8 to the information that I already know, I can see that 8 fits in between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9. That means that the square root of 8 has to be about 2 point something. If I zoom into that part of the number line, I can further my estimation. I also like to think of a middle ground, so 2.5. When I'm trying to estimate to the nearest tenth, I want to think, is the square root of 8 below 2.5? Would it be above? Would it be just about 2.5? How do you figure that out? Again, I go back to my perfect squares. I know that the square root of 4 is equal to 2, and that the square root of 9 is equal to 3. Well, the square root of 8 happens to be closer to 9 than it is to 4. So in my mind, I know when I'm going to make an estimate, it will definitely be greater than 2.5. From here, to be sure, it's a game of guess and check. As you gain more experience, this process will get smoother for you, I promise. Since 8 is so close to 9, I'm going to guess something like 2.8. So how do I test that out? Well, I'll go to my pen here. I'm going to square 2.8 and see what I come up with. So I'm going to do 2.8 times 2.8. I like to multiply the old school way, so 8 times 8 is 64. 4, carry the 6. 8 times 2 is 16. 6 more would be 22. Put my placeholder here, so now I do 2 times 8, which is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 more is 5. If I add those up, I have 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 6 is 8. 2 plus 5 is 7. And again, I have 2 numbers behind the decimal, so I should have 2 numbers behind the decimal here. Sorry about that. Okay, 7.84. If you're a lattice multiplier, I can show you the same way. I'm just going to change my pen color here to make it easier to see. So if I have 2.8 times 2.8. All right, so 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4. 8 times 8 is 64. And 2 times 8, again, is 16. So let me add these up. I should have a 4. That is 18. I'm going to carry my 1, 4, or 2, 6, 7. And we'll notice that we get the same thing there. Either way you multiply, the result is the same. Where did that go? There we go. Okay, technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right, so I see I get 7.84, 7 and 84 hundredths. That's pretty close to 8. Since it's just a little bit smaller, I'm going to also test 2.9. Do that over here. So 2.9 times 2.9, 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 more would be 26. Add my placeholder here. 2 times 9 is 18, as we said. I'm going to carry my 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 more is 5. Let's see what we come up with here. 1 plus 0 is 1. 6 plus 8 is 14. That will give me 8. So this is 8.41. Again, I can show you with lattice if you prefer that method of multiplying. Let's try here. So 18, 4, 18 again, and 81. Lots of 1s and 8s here. All right, so 1, that is 24. 3, 7, 8. There we are. So I have one estimate that is above 8 and a second estimate that is below 8. How do you know which one works best? Well, I want to see which estimate, 2.8 or 2.9, would actually get me closer to 8. Well, my estimate that is over 8 is really easy to figure out. I am only 41 hundredths away from 8, because this is 8 and 41 hundredths. Let's take a look at this one. If I were trying to make this an 8, in other words, if I'm trying to add on a number to get to the whole number 8, I would have to add 16 hundredths to this. If you couldn't figure that out in your head, I simply take 1 minus 84 hundredths. So I've seen some students take 100 minus 84. We have to borrow here. And you'll see where that 16 comes from. So we need 16 hundredths to get to 8 here, and we are 41 hundredths over here. Since we are closer to 8, when we use 2.8, that should be our answer. So I'm going to write the square root of 8 is approximately 2.8. And there you have it. As an added bonus, I have a problem for you. So go ahead and pause this video, try it on your own, and when you're ready, hit the play button. I have the answer ready for you. Welcome back. I hope that this process was easy for you. I hope this video was helpful. Let's see if you had your answer correct. So the square root of 10 is approximately 3.2. Thanks for watching.